First, we have our stethoscope, which is used to listen to internal bodily organs such as our heart, our lungs, bowels, and it works by transmitting acoustic pressure waves from the surface of the internal organ through the tubes and into your ears. Next, we have our sphygmomanometer, which is used to measure blood pressure. It works by using this pump at the end, and it's connected to the tubes to inflate the cuff, which goes around someone's arm, which then occludes blood flow, and you're able to listen to pressure changes right here. Next, we have our pulse oximeter, which measures our oxygen saturation rate by transmitting infrared light through our body's tissues and measuring the differential absorbance between our oxyhemoglobin and our deoxyhemoglobin. Next, we have our medical tape measure, which is used to measure different organ sizes, wound sizes, any lesions visible on the skin, and it just works by simply pulling it out, and you have your inch side and centimeter side, and you measure. Next, we have our reflex hammer, and this simply works by striking a tendon and triggering an involuntary reflex contraction. We also have this reflex hammer as well, which works similarly by striking a tendon, triggering an involuntary reflex contraction, and this one also stimulates pain discrimination of our cutaneous skin. Next, we have our vibration fork or tuning fork, and this works by triggering our mechanoreceptors when struck and also our hearing. So you simply, and this tests our vibration, again, mechanoreceptors, and our hearing in our ear. Next, we have our pupillary pin light, and this simply works by shining this in the patient's eye, which will trigger a parasympathetic constriction of the pupil. And lastly, we have our 2-point discriminator, and this works by applying 2 points simultaneously on the skin, triggering our tactile responses.
My name is Ava Leggett, and this is Tyler Limhover, and he is my patient today for pretend. Do I have your consent to be my pretend patient?
Yes, you have my consent.
Okay. Hello, I'm Dr. Ava. Can you state your name and date of birth?
My name is Tyler Limhover, and my birthday is 5/24/2000.
Awesome. What brings you in today?
I have a headache.
Okay, well, since you're a new patient, we're going to run through everything, get all your vital signs, get you all organized in our system, and then we'll check out your pain in just a second.
Perfect.
Great. All right. So I'm going to start off by taking your heart rate. I'm going to see your arm.
Okay.
I guess like this. And I'm going to use my 2 fingers to feel your brachial pulse. I'm going to pull up 60 seconds on my watch. And it's going to count to 60. And while I watch the hands on my watch turn. So can you tell me when did your headache symptoms start?
About 3 days ago.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would you rate the pain? 0 being no pain at all, 10 being absolutely worst pain.
Like a 4.5.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do for you today.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let's see. And tell me, Tyler, what do you do for work?
I'm an outside sales.
Okay.
I manage accounts.
And does that keep you active?
Yes, I'm driving all day, walking out of offices, and yeah, going to planes. Yeah, walking all that stuff.
Great. All right, that was your heart rate at 60 seconds. It was 70, and so now I'm going to take it again and only do it for 30 seconds and see how those equate.
Perfect.
I'm going to palpate your brachial artery. So do you exercise?
I do.
How often?
Depends on the week. Probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay. Do you smoke?
I do not smoke.
Well, that's good. Smoking is very bad for you.
It is.
All right, that was 30 seconds, and there were 32 beats per minute in the 30 seconds. Multiply that times 2 is 64. So I'm going to take it one more time for just 15 seconds, see how that equates.
Okay.
All right, 15 seconds. There were 15 beats per minute in those 15 seconds. 15 times 4 is 60. So we're going to take the average of all of those with my calculator. The first one was 70, the second one was 62, and the last one was 60. Your heart rate is 64 beats per minute. I'm going to chart that, making record. Now I'm going to use the pulse oximeter to take your heart rate electronically and also measure your pulse oxygen saturation. I can see your finger. I'm going to have you rest it right here. And while that's going, we can run through some information regarding your cognitive health. if I could just ask you, can you with your other hand point to your nose?
Point or touch?
Touch.
Okay.
Great. And then can you next touch your mouth and then touch your knee?
Yes.
Amazing. That was awesome. And it's looking like your oxygen saturation is at 99%, which is well in range. It's very normal. And then again, it's saying your heart rate is at 70, so right where we had it originally. Awesome. I'll take this off of you. Now we're going to move into, I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Okay.
So I'm going to take my cuff, place it on your arm. I'm going to remove all clothing, make sure there's nothing in the way.
Okay.
Wrap my cuff 2 centimeters above the antecubital crease. And make sure it's nice and fitting on you, but not too tight. How does that feel?
Perfect.
Great.
Comfortable.
Okay. First, I'm going to hold your arm up at heart level.
Okay.
And I'm going to palpate again for your brachial artery. So if you
Okay.
could just relax your arm right here. Awesome. And now what I'm going to do is pump the cup up and inflate it. Inflate it just enough so I can get an initial reading. Okay? Great. Now I'm going to deflate it slowly, 2 to 3 millimeters per mercury per second. Retighten this. Let your arm rest for a second. So what I was doing just then was palpating your brachial artery, your radial artery, and measuring until I pumped to when I didn't feel a pulse anymore. Now I'm going to add 30 mmHg to that number, and that will be the number that I pulp to the second time as I use my stethoscope to track your heart rate.
Okay.
So hold this. Putting on my stethoscope. Now I'm going to place this right at the rim of your cuff where your brachial artery is. And again, I'm going to raise your arm up to heart level. Make sure this is tight. Pump to now 170 mmHg. Awesome. So what I was listening for is for your diastolic and systolic blood pressures. When I hear the first corticoff sound, that is where your systolic blood pressure meets, and that was right at 121, which is exactly where we want it, and your diastolic measured around 79, which again, 120 over 79 is in very healthy range. Now we're going to repeat it on this arm, just to make sure we get an accurate reading. Make sure this is on you tight. Okay, how does that feel?
Feels good.
Great. We'll let your arm rest for a few minutes.
Okay.
And that one was 121 over 80. So again, average at 120 over 80. That is great. That means your blood pressure is in normal, healthy range. No need to make any adjustments there.
Awesome.
Great. So now I'm going to continue with a few more questions, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay.
Let's see here. So you said your pain was at a 4.5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll make note of that right now. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about your mood. Do you ever feel discouraged or depressed?
I do not.
Okay, good to know. And if you could describe if you ever feel low, when is that?
What do you know about?
Low, sad, blue.
When I was with my girlfriend.
Okay, that's reasonable. That is completely within
Yeah.
normal range, so that's okay. Where do you see yourself in the future?
On land, nice house, and having kids and having a great family.
Those are great aspirations, Mr. Lindweber. And have you ever had thoughts of suicide or death?
I have not.
Great to hear. A few more questions for some higher cognitive testing. These can be difficult if you're in pain, so just let me know if it's too much with your headache.
Perfect.
So I'm going to start by saying 2 numbers, and I'm going to have you repeat those to me. And then I'm going to say 3 numbers, and I'm going to have you repeat those to me, on and on until there's a mistake along the way, and I'll just jot down whatever that is. Okay? 2, 4,
24
9, 7, 6,
976
1, 4, 2, 4,
1424
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
98765
5, 10, 12, 24, 13.
5, 10, 12, 24, 13.
1, 7, 6, 10, 11, 14.
1, 7, 5, 6, 14.
Awesome. So we'll end it right there. Great job. All right. And now just for the last bit, I'm going to ask you a series of questions to examine your higher cognitive functioning. So the first questions will just be factual, starting off with who is the President of the United States?
Donald Trump.
Correct. And do you know the Vice President?
J.D. Vance.
Exactly. Right. Now numerical questions. What is 10 plus 15?
25.
Great. And do you know 10 times 15? Take your time.
155. 150.
Yes, 150. Great. Now I'm just going to ask you to take this pen and paper
Okay.
and to draw a clock.
A clock?
Yep.
Anywhere on here?
Anywhere. And again, take your time. I want you to feel as comfortable as possible in our clinic today. Awesome. And can you tell me what time is on the clock?
It's going to be 250.
Great.
240.
You are correct. And just to recap, my records indicate that Mr. Linweber, yourself, you are a young, healthy appearing man. You seem well groomed, well dressed, cheerful, good hygiene, no apparent signs of neglect physically. Your height is 5 feet 9 inches. You weigh 160 pounds. That equates to a BMI of 23.6, which falls in normal range. That's great news. Your blood pressure manually was 72 beats per minute, and 70 beats per minute, and electronically was 64 beats per minute. And then your heart rate of both arms averaged at 120/80, which is great. That's exactly a normal range. And you had an oxygen saturation of 99% and a temperature of 98.0 degrees Celsius. So all Fahrenheit, all great, all in range, and it's exactly what we want to hear. So thank you so much for coming to our clinic. Do you have any more questions or concerns?
No, you did awesome. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Lindbergh.
Okay.